Hello everyone, we're back for Wellness Wednesday. I am Sandra Madrigal and I'm here with
Ryan Saganek.
So glad to be back this week. I want to let you guys know that across the district we do themes. They're called character themes. And so for the month of September, our theme is community, which we talked about last week, and empathy. So the importance of empathy. We thought it would be really important to kind of kick this session off with what is empathy? Ryan?
I think it's a great question because it's a word that we hear a lot these days, and in different contexts. But it's helpful to just start at understanding what is it.
Yeah.
And so I think of two categories when I think of explaining what empathy is. The first is sympathy, which is another term we might have heard, and then the second is empathy. These two are very related and they're similar, but there are some key differences. So when we think of sympathy, we think of feeling for someone.
Right.
So if I see someone trip and fall and maybe they scrape their knee, I think, ugh, ouch.
Yeah.
It's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
You feel bad for them.
Right.
The key difference with empathy, instead of feeling for somebody, we're feeling with somebody.
Yeah. I like
So instead of just being like, ooh, that's gotta hurt, we actually take a moment to essentially internalize what they might be feeling.
Absolutely.
A good example of this is, imagine yourself watching a movie, and something in the movie, you might not even know what it is really resonating with you. And so you start to tear up.
Right.
You might feel a little bit choked up.
Yeah.
I believe that happens to most, if not all of us,
Yes.
at some point or another. So that is an example of you're seeing something play out and you're experiencing the feeling of what is playing out with that person. One thing about empathy is that it takes imagination, because it takes the moment to pause and imagine what might it be like for what that person is going through.
Right.
I might not be able to know exactly, and of course I don't know exactly, but I can take a moment to imagine and empathize and say, yeah, that's gotta really hurt, or they must be feeling really sad, or they must have a lot of grief right now.
Right.
And so it takes that imagination. And so with empathy, some people feel it more naturally than others, but you can grow that sense of empathy by practicing. And it's practicing taking that moment to imagine what other people might be experiencing.
Yeah, I like your definition. It was very clear. And when I think about a challenge for all of us, maybe going into this next week, month, is to challenge ourselves to really try to feel with others, because I think that right there is another way to build community, close connections with the people around you. And I think it's super important to have that skill. So we could grow that empathy muscle, and I think that would be great. So with that, have a great week, everyone.